Libby Mettam arrived at Parliament with a clear message.
It's time for dissenters to put up or shut up.
Weeks of sustained pressure on her leadership came to a head after polling, which compared the party's likely success under her leadership with their chances under Perth Lord Mayor and media personality Basil Zempilas, was leaked to Seven West Media. Ms Mettam was given the polling 2 weeks ago by a federal Liberal candidate who said it was commissioned by a businessman who wanted her to walk away so Mr Zempilas, the candidate for Churchlands, could take over before the election.
Quite clearly there has been a lot of mischief undertaken by people in the shadows. Real questions need to be asked about who the businessman was, who commissioned this poll, who wants to have an influence.
Ms Mettam emerged from the party room meeting with her leadership intact after a motion put by Shadow Treasurer Neil Thompson calling for the party to appoint Mr Zempilas as the campaign leader failed. Mr Thompson later resigned from the opposition front bench.
We must now be united, move forward and focus on the issues that matter to Western Australians.
Labor launched on the turmoil.
Well, what we've seen is an undermining of the Liberal leader by Basil Zempilas, and what we've now seen is polling that's been commissioned. Now, the question is how long has Basil Zempilas known about this polling? Has he been pushing it? And does he know the business person that commissioned this?
Mr Zempilas says he's recently been told who that person is and says he might share it with Ms Mettam if she asks.
I haven't asked anybody to work on my behalf. I haven't engaged anybody to work on my behalf. To the best of my knowledge, I don't have people working on my behalf.
The Lord Mayor emphatically denying having anything to do with the polling.
It's not my name to share. I don't even know if the name I've been told is correct. I think that information is for the person themselves to come forward with.
But still not ruling out the possibility of becoming the party's campaign leader prior to the election.
She's the best possible leader.
Well, she's the only leader. You can only have one leader, and she's the leader. So she is the person charged with the responsibility of leading us to the election, and I expect she will.
The question now resolved, according to Libby Mettam.
Rhiannon Shine is at State Parliament. Rhiannon, do we know who the business person is who commissioned the polling?
We don't know yet who the mystery businessman is, Pamela, but there has been a development late today. We've learned that the polling was facilitated by a Perth marketing agency, which is run by Basil Zempilas's mayoral campaign manager, Cam Sinclair. In a statement to the ABC, Mr Sinclair has said his agency outsourced this work to the polling firm on behalf of a client, and he also said that Mr Zempilas was not involved. But of course, optics are everything, and as one Liberal MP said to me, quote, "This doesn't look good."
And Rhiannon, Libby Mettam says this settles the issue, but what are you hearing?
I think there'll be a mix of responses in the aftermath of today. One senior federal Liberal MP has already sent a message out to candidates saying that they thought this attack on Libby Mettam was amateur and ill-conceived, and urging all candidates to lock in behind Libby now and just stick to the party messaging. On the other hand, another Liberal MP, when I asked whether today's events would silence any leadership speculation, they just laughed. So that suggests we haven't heard the end of this. The difficulty for the party now is this polling has damaged both Libby Mettam and Basil Zempilas in different ways, and Labor is going to continue to use it against them. And we're just a few months out from the state election in the last sitting week of this parliament.